majority of businesses, when they fail, they just fail because the business owner decided to throw in the towel.
Is this what I'm going to do with my life? I'm going to just be in the corporate sales world forever?
You're not supposed to win every time. Boring.
It's not about what you're saying. It's about how you're making the other people feel. Magnetic presence and authenticity is not something that you're either born with or you're not. We are all born with it.
You're made of pure love and light.
Can you imagine speaking in front of thousands of people and feeling totally comfortable and just like yourself while you're at it? Well, in today's episode, you are going to hear from Joey Freddy Larsen about what it takes to magnetize the right audience, whether it's on stage or online, so that you can lead with purpose, get the promotion you deserve, and make more sales. Let's begin. Welcome to Resonance, the podcast for high performers and entrepreneurs who want to do life, work, and success differently. I am your host, Viktoria Levenberg, and I am obsessed with efficiency, productivity, and planning in a way that harnesses your energy and your natural rhythms while keeping you in alignment and integrity. Because I have figured out that lasting success is not about the hustle. It is about being in resonance. Let's begin. Quick intro to Joey, and I don't want to give away too much because he's got an incredible intro that he's just about to share with you with a little teaser to some really personal things that he will share, which you'll just have to hang out till the end of the episode to receive. But Joey and I met through our digital community. He is working with Mr. James Wedmore, just as I am. You would have heard about him on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. He is been so influential in my life, and Joey as well, because Joey was the catalyst in the chain of events that preceded a really huge life decision, which was something that then allowed for me to step into the next quantum leaps and shifts that unfolded in my life. And that's really special. I don't think I've kind of told that to Joey enough. But by stepping into his authentic magnetic self, by sharing his story, by being of service and simply telling his truth, he helped me see myself in his story and make some big decisions that maybe I wouldn't have had the courage to make had I not had that way shower who has done it before. And Joey's story is super interesting. I mean, Joey's background ranges from corporate to performance to comedy and all of the things in between. He is such a multifaceted being, and I don't want to spoil it anymore. Without further ado, let's dive into the episode. I'll see you in there. Joey, thank you for joining me. I am so excited to speak with you because I think you're the first guest I'm bringing on the podcast who's spent more time in front of the camera than I have. And I look forward to hearing all the tips and tricks that you've got up your sleeve, but also your story, your experience and the wisdom that anyone listening today gets to receive from you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here, have a conversation with you, and I'm super pumped to share with your audience how in an AI world, their own authentic magnetic presence is the number one asset and the number one advantage that they could ever double and triple down on. And my goal is to help your listeners become more magnetic on stage, on screen, and in life so that they can turn their own audiences and attention into more clients, more bookings, more opportunities, more income, more impact, all those great things. So
amazing.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And look, as we dive in, would you be able to just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit more about you and who you are and what got you to where you're at today and the work that you do?
Absolutely. My name is Joey Freddy Larsen. Joey's the first name, Freddy's the middle name, Larsen's the last name. And I love to start with a little game. You want to play a little quick game?
I am so down for a game. I love a game.
Have you ever heard of the game Two Truths and a Lie?
Yes, let's go.
So before I tell you the nutshell of my story, Two Truths and a Lie of Joey Freddy Larsen, I have been bit by a boa constrictor. I've been stung by a stingray, and I've eaten at the northernmost Denny's in the world.
I would say the first is the lie.
All right. Well, people will have to stick around to the end of the episode because I'm not going to reveal it now.
I love it. That is
I've
so good.
opened the loop. Stick around, and I will share the answer to two truths and a lie. To get back to my story, though, I'm a dual citizen. My mom was born in New York City. My dad's Canadian. I was born just north of Toronto in a small little town, and I my professional start was after a degree in kinesiology, study of human movement. I didn't use that at all, like a lot of people who go to university. And I got into sales and ultimately a sales management job. I spent around 10 years with a financial services company. At the age of 23, I was hiring, recruiting, training, and running a sales team in a sales branch while seeing clients sitting at their kitchen table in their homes talking about their financial services and how to protect their families. And at the ripe young age of 31, I had what I like to call my third life crisis instead of a midlife crisis, a third
Yep,
life
that's it.
crisis,
Mhm.
where I was realizing, is this what I'm going to do with my life? I'm going to just be in the corporate sales world forever. It's a great
Mhm.
company, lots of commissions, lots of personal growth. All that stuff was amazing. So what I did next is I answered an ad on the internet that said, "So you want to be a comedian?" And that was an ad for like an amateur night. There's a chain in Canada called Yuck Yucks Comedy,
Mhm.
and it was an ad to get new acts and new people to come up. And I'd always been a huge fan of comedy. I'd always, from a distance, fantasized about being on stage and on screen myself.
Wow.
So I did that. That
Mhm.
went incredible. Then stand up led to sketch comedy, to improv. Then I moved to Toronto, which is our film and TV hub in Canada, along with Vancouver. But I moved to Toronto. I started doing first student films. I was a background extra in a bunch of TV shows and movies. Then I started doing commercials. And then eventually I've now had lead roles in TV, film, and theater, which I've loved. So I've been an actor and stand-up comedian for the last 17 years. The
Wow.
last 10 of those, I've also had a business where I was coaching other actors, helping them stand out in their own roles, to book their
Mhm.
own roles in TV, film, theater, commercials, voiceover, and an online business. And then just in the last 6 months, I had a major epiphany where now I've decided to take that work that I do with actors and start working with uh, personal brands. So experts,
Mhm.
creators, coaches, leaders, speakers, helping them be more magnetic on stage and screen so that they can do all those fun things and get more opportunities, more income, and more
Mhm.
clients. Because the thing that I noticed, the through line through all of my work, and what I really noticed, and this is really boiled to the surface in the last 6 months, was that there are so many talented people, so
Mm.
many experts, incredible resumes, so many certifications and credentials, and they do amazing work. But
Mm.
there's a gap often to how they show up, and I call
Yeah.
that the presence gap. So there's
Mm.
so many frustrated people out there thinking like, I know I have more in me, I know I have more to give, more to impact, and they're just falling short, not because they're not incredible at what they do. They just haven't two things. They haven't returned to who they are as their authentic self, and they've got
Mm.
maybe some blocks,
Mhm.
and they haven't been introduced to some of the skills that you can install to improve those skills and habits.
Yes. Wow.
And that's what
What
I
a
do now.
journey. What
Yeah.
a journey, Joey.
Yeah.
Like, from corporate sales to stand-up comedian turned actor turned, acting coach. I don't know if that's sort
Mhm.
of the industry turn,
Sure. Yep.
turned, public speaker and coach for entrepreneurs, leaders, brands. Wow, it is incredible to see just the breadth of your experience, and I can really also see the value that you and working with you provides to all the amazing people who have already decided to work with you, and all the incredible people that are like being magnetized into your world, because that's something that I would love to hear your take on. You just mentioned these two things being authenticity and the skill set. And from what I'm hearing you say, you work with both. And In my experience, we often have to have our own dark night of the soul and our own little learnings before we get to pass that on to others. So, would you be able to speak to how you were able to step into more of your authentic magnetic self? And when was that shift for you?
It's a great question. So I'll preface that by a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're a natural. Oh, like energy on stage." Like I did
Mm-hmm.
that talk at BBD Live in Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
where like standing ovation and lift like blew the roof off the place. Loved it.
Yeah.
The crowd was amazing, and people are like, "Oh, you're a natural," and I'm not. In that corporate world, I remember being in meetings and like quarterly like board of director meetings where I would be my representative from my office. So I would show up and there'd be like moments where they would go around the horn with the microphone to share your takeaways or to share what's going on. And I remember my heart starting to race,
Mm.
getting flushed red in the face as I'm seeing the mic get closer and closer to me, rehearse the thing in my head frantically. What am I going to say? And then by the
Mm-hmm.
time I would get the mic, it would be like a blackout experience. I would blurt something out. When I was done, I wouldn't even really remember what I even said. I'd have to catch my breath. And then in my
Mm-hmm.
head, I'm thinking, did, did I just say something super profound or did it just make a fool of myself?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
and my natural I believe like my natural inclination and set point around strangers or in a room of people is not I'm going to be the center of attention. It's way more often fly on the wall, but now it's a muscle that I can turn on. So the first epiphany was doing stand-up comedy, and
Mm-hmm.
I just knew that when you're on stage, you almost by default need to be a little bit like a elevated, heightened version of yourself, a little more
Yeah.
larger than life, because
That's a
that's really the job, right? Like
Yeah. Well,
if you
there's
want
nowhere
to
to hide, and sort of it's you.
also
And
true.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, in the beginning, most stand-up comedians and even most actors and performers, you're usually emulating and really doing like your impression of your favorite people. So, my
Mm.
favorite people growing up were Saturday Night Live people.
Mhm.
Less stand-up. I wasn't exposed to as many stand-ups, but all of like, and I'm child of the '90s, so for me it was Chris Farley and
Mhm.
Adam Sandler, and then
Mhm.
shortly after that, guys like Will Ferrell. So
Mhm.
for me, the thing that I was able to switch on was the energy. So I was a
Mm.
little bigger, a little louder, very
Mhm.
physical on stage, and it was almost in the beginning, it was almost like I was being a different person or a different version of myself.
Mm. Mhm.
Now, and this is not what I encourage. So the reason I'm saying this is to anyone listening, this work isn't about, oh, I got to become someone else, or I got to become a comedian, or
Yeah.
I'm a real shy, quiet, mousy introvert, and now I got to be a clown on stage. No,
Mm.
uh, that was my initial move into it, and then what's happened since then is I've calmed down and been able to be a little more authentic. Like that was
Mm.
I'm acting, I'm putting on a mask, I'm playing the character of the big wacky guy, and that worked
Yeah.
for a while. And then now as I've gotten older is like I'm more when I'm on stage, I'm a little more like I am around just my friends. Like you saw me
Thank you.
at BBD Live, I was more like it's like half TED Talk with a little bit of stand up in it.
Yeah, it was fantastic, by the way. I mean, I had the privilege of being there and witnessing you live, and that standing ovation was so well deserved. And I genuinely believe that a big part of it was the authenticity and the magnetism with which you delivered, because yes, there is an element of stage presence and holding the room. It was 1,000 people. That's no small feat. And yet at the same time, in the story that you took us through, there was vulnerability. There was some things that might have been really hard to share, especially in front of a crowd full of strangers. And you said something just then around, I just felt more like myself as I am with friends. And I was about to ask you, like, how would you define authenticity? And is that pretty much it? It's just being you.
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah.
feeling. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
feeling where I don't feel like I'm putting on it's an energetic thing.
Mm.
If at the end of doing a Zoom or doing a webinar or doing a stage talk, you're just like destroyed energetically, or you're like, I don't want to do that again. It's
Mm.
probably a sign that you're not being authentic. You're putting
Yeah.
something extra on. and it's not sustainable.
Mm.
And the thing that I've in my podcast, the Magnetic Presence podcast, that I've continually drilled in, even in just the first few episodes, was that magnetic presence and authenticity is not something that you're either born with or you're not. We are
Mm.
all born with it. And
Mm.
think of a baby. There is nothing more magnetic in the world than a baby.
Yeah.
They're completely authentic. There's no mask, there's no
Mm.
filter. When they're about to cry and scream or laugh and giggle, they're not thinking, "Oh, am I going to be too much? Am I going to be too big?"
Mm-hmm.
Or they told my mom said, "Be quiet." So they just let it out. And
Mm.
you can see it around a baby, whether it's someone brings a baby into a restaurant, people flock, and or
Mm-hmm.
a stroller goes by and everyone's poking in, and you see
Mm-hmm.
those eyes and you see those, like, have you ever looked at a baby and you're like, you like, I see your soul, and more so the baby sees you, where you're
Yes.
like, how do you know me? Like,
Yeah, I
and
don't know about you, but like I also have that experience with my dog. Like I don't know if you and Luna
yep,
have that same
same thing,
experience. I'm just like,
same thing.
you see me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing with dogs because they're
Yeah.
completely hard on their sleeve. There's no
Mm-hmm.
mask, and so the point is, it's in all of us. But
Mm-hmm.
then throughout childhood and the rest of our
Mm.
lives, society and doubts and worry and fears and trying to fit in and trying to not do the wrong things and getting some haters online, we start molding and shaping and really just layering mask upon mask
Mm-hmm.
upon mask upon mask, and then we wonder who the heck we really are. So it's
Yes.
the work is twofold: returning to who you are actually authentically and just being you rather than trying to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
That's
that.
it.
It's like Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. It's like, stop. Like, I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be. How about you just stop trying to be and just be, and just
Yeah.
maybe easier said than done. And then, like I said, doing that. And then there are also sets of skills and habits that can be installed through
Mm.
repetition and through some work and rehearsal and some coaching sessions. Like in my
Mm-hmm.
programs, I'm often getting people live on their feet, where it's, let's hear your pitch, let's hear your webinar, let's
Mm.
hear your offer, let's hear your origin story, let's see your opening. And
Mm-hmm.
then a lot of it is even working before that, what I call arriving before you arrive. Very much like
Ooh.
we did before this podcast, where we did
Uh-huh.
some breath work, we did some
Mm-hmm.
relaxation to get yourself in state to work on your intentions, to
Mm-hmm.
to more so think about, rather than the words, because here's the thing everyone defaults to. Everyone, especially in the business world, thinks it's, oh, I need a new strategy, I need a new tactic, a new funnel, it's my
Mm-hmm.
copy, it's my messaging, it's my slides.
Mm-hmm.
But all of that is stacked upon the human being
That's
delivering
it.
it.
That's it.
So the best words in the world, the best slides in the world don't mean a thing if you don't deliver them with some command,
Mm.
some connection, some captivation.
Mm.
And then when the time comes to move into conversion, knowing how to do that as
Mm.
well.
Mm.
And people are especially with AI, they're like, oh, amazing. I can make AI make all this beautiful copy and I can make them beautiful images and all this stuff.
Mhm.
But it's still you as a human being, right?
Yeah.
And what's happened, the thesis really of my work right now in the podcast and all my programs is, as AI becomes ubiquitous and is just a
Mhm.
baked in layer of society where everyone has access to those incredible tools,
Mm.
content is common, knowledge is commoditized. So
Mhm.
then what's left? The
Mhm.
only thing we have left after that is the human being under that, your
Yeah.
presence, how you show up in rooms, how you make people feel, how you change the molecules in the room. Do people pay attention
Mm.
to you? Do they listen to you? Do they
Mhm.
Are they moved into action by you? Do they trust you? Are they
Mm.
inspired by you? And all of that is the human, and everyone is hiding behind copy and AI and tools,
Mm.
and, oh, should I do a webinar? Or should I do a challenge or a live launch? Or should I do a workshop or a retreat? And
Mm.
all that stuff is great, but it's it's the actual human being
That's it.
underneath, especially now as there's already pushback on AI. Like, a lot of people are tired of it, or I don't want to see any
Mhm.
more AI slop, or there's
Mhm.
huge resurgence in live events and live experiences, interactive
Mhm.
theater, retreats, conferences,
Yeah.
things like the Las Vegas Sphere, where people want to go see something really cool and be in a room with 10,000 other people. Stand-up
Mhm.
comedy too, like globally,
Mhm.
stand-up, there has never been ever, not even close to the amount of stand-up comedians doing arena tours globally, where they go
Really?
country to country. That used to
Yeah.
be like 2 people, like back in the
Mhm.
day, there was probably Steve Martin was the first one to fill up an arena or stadium,
Mhm.
and then like Andrew Dice Clay, and
Mhm.
then in the early 2000s, there was like maybe Dane Cook. And then now there's probably a list of 30 people or 50 people globally that
Mhm.
are going to every major city and doing the basketball arenas and the hockey arenas.
Yeah.
Overseas, they're going to every country and doing that. And that is because people want to be with human beings in a
That's
real
it.
live experience.
Yeah. We
So
wanna be
my
connected.
yeah, so my whole message to people is yeah, adopt those AI things, and certainly right now, if you're an early adopter of any technology,
Mm.
you can gain an advantage, but
Mhm.
eventually, when everyone's got it, it's gonna come back to you as a human, so
Mm.
don't neglect working on your own humanity
Mhm.
and getting like, "Oh, I'm just gonna default and outsource and delegate my own humanness to a
That's
robot."
it. That's it,
Uh,
because you know what? The DNA that is within you is the most unique code that not
right.
even any AI can replicate.
Right. Yeah, it's we're divine and people feel it whether they realize it or not.
Mm.
Everyone is feeling you subconsciously, like they're affected by your heart rate, they're affected by your breath, by your
Mm.
nervousness, your posture, your voice, just everything about before you even speak. And
Mhm.
we've all seen that. Like if you've ever been to an open mic or seen a speaker, if someone comes in and they're kind of jittery or they're not making eye contact or they're a little apologetic in their voice
Mhm.
or they're starting to talk really fast because they're nervous and they think they just got to spit it all out
Mm.
versus someone who walks out is very grounded,
Mhm.
regulated, looks out at the audience maybe with a smile,
Mhm.
grabs the mic, and then commands the room.
Yeah.
That sets everyone at ease, and we have all these mirror neurons and
Mhm.
emotional contagion and all these science-based things
Mm.
that says it's not about what you're saying, it's about how you're making the other people feel, and often they're not even aware of it. It's just that idea of like, there was just something about
Yeah.
her, something about him, like
Yeah, it's like that
and
gut feeling, right? And like I think we can all remember a time when we've seen someone on stage, whether it's even like as young as our childhood, and they're doing what you've just described, shaky, uncomfortable, and you're like, I feel uncomfortable for them. It's
yes,
like uncomfortable watching them
yes.
because of what you're just describing.
Yes, it triggers all of our anxieties because 'cause we're like, "Oh,
Mm.
no," and it's a little bit like watching a car wreck where you're like, "I can't look, but I can't look away." That's that's why, like, an open mic or, like, an amateur comedy night or something like the old Gong Show is so captivating because you're either gonna see someone or even the shows like, um, X Factor and America's Got Talent and The Voice and all that stuff is you have the feeling, I'm either gonna see someone do something incredible and change their
Mhm.
life, or I'm
Mhm.
going to see someone shrink, collapse, and completely blow it. And that's
Mhm.
also it's good television. But
Yeah.
you're right. And that difference is the reason the same words, like
Mhm.
you could give, insert your favorite comedian's jokes to two different people, and one will crush and one they'll all fall flat. And it's not the
Mm.
words or the same
No.
slides same speaker, like, or
Same
same
sales
speech.
pitch.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the real like, even when I was in sales, we were trained on it, like, we had a certain presentation. They actually did give us a script. We had slides and all that,
Mhm, mhm.
but some guys are crushing in it, making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then other people are struggling to make, like, low 5 figures,
Yeah.
and it's not the script, it's not the clients, it's
Mhm.
the delivery, how they make people feel, how they connect with people. Do people trust them? Do people are people moved by them? Do they feel their energy? You know, all
Mhm.
those things. Yeah, I love
Mm.
it. I love talking about this too, by the way, if you can't
Yeah.
tell.
I can tell because you're being
Yeah.
authentically and magnetically yourself. And you know what I'd be so curious about, I find that especially in areas where we tend to become experts. And I know authenticity is a big subject, where, to your point, it's less something you become, it's more something you return to. It's not something you
Mm.
try harder to be, it's something you remove the thing standing in the way of you being. And yet, who is the most influential, magnetic, authentic speaker, leader, or mentor that you have seen that's really changed your life?
That there's only one person, and you know him. James Wedmore has by far had the largest impact on me, not
Yeah.
only on my business, on like the 3D strategy, but just on my own life, how I look at life. Oh man, I'm
Hmm.
getting emotional now.
And that's
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
I owe,
that's
I owe
all of
him
it
a
is welcome here.
I owe him a debt of gratitude. He's really changed my life.
Mm.
His words are in my head so often. Just how many little nuggets, and often it's not like he always jokes with us, like, I, you came into my world to learn business, but the mind trick is now he's teaching us personal growth and development
That's
as
it.
well. And yeah, there's no one that I've been more. There's many, but no one single person, and that's part of it is because I've just like devoured it as well. Like I'm
Mm.
at all the calls, I'm at all the events,
Mhm.
and yeah, he really has changed my life, and I love that he is both the yin and yang. Like he can talk business
Yes.
strategy and get
Mm.
um, really granular about tactics. He can go down to copy. He can look at like the buttons on your landing page and do all
Uh-huh.
that kind of stuff. He can crunch the numbers,
Mm.
and then he can also have a conversation about ancient wisdom
Yeah.
and universal principles and
Mhm.
all of those things. And the biggest thing, if there's one single thing that he's taught me that I think about it on an ongoing basis, is I might butcher how he explains it, but when we have when we have certain thoughts, they lead to certain feelings, and we would label them. There's certain like thoughts and feelings that we would label as negative or low
Mhm.
vibration, like shame, guilt, fear,
Mm.
worry, doubt, all that stuff. And then the
Mm.
flip side to that is there's like love, joy, excitement, enthusiasm, magnetism, all the positive
Mhm.
things. And the thing that really stuck with me and has changed my life on a daily basis is he's reminded us that when when you're having that low vibe feeling, the reason that you feel low vibe is because
Mm.
it's not true,
That's it.
because
Yeah.
our true nature is complete abundance. We're stardust. We're completely limitless.
Mm.
We're made of love. We're made of light. All of those things. So when we're thinking less than thoughts like, "Oh, who am I?" or "It's never going to happen," or "I'm a big piece of crap," like
Mm.
whatever negative thoughts people have, the reason that you feel bad and low is you are disconnecting from source,
Mhm.
God, universe. You're disconnecting from
Mm.
who you are. So
Mhm.
that reminder for me, like anytime I've gotten a thought loop where it's very easy. Like you could have a drill, like think a bunch of thoughts that make you feel like crap right now, and we can all do it
Yeah,
in
I don't
a
even
minute
wanna do
or two.
it because it's,
Right.
yeah, it's so quick.
But the
Yeah.
the reason is they're not true. So
Yeah.
that reminder to me is like more than any business tactic or any funnel or any landing page audit. Like that has changed my life. That one little nugget, and I've shared that a lot with people. It's just like
Mhm.
remembering who we really are. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Shout out to James Wedmore, everybody.
shout out James Wedmore. Papa James is the
Yeah,
best, and
yeah,
I echo your sentiment 1,000%. Like I am slightly newer to James's world than you are, and yet it was also this instant magnetism, and it really comes back to what you've just shared is this guy is not afraid to tell the hard stories, to show up as his honest, authentic, vulnerable self. And
right.
that, like, I mean, that attracts us like
Yeah, and
magnets
he's
to
also
it.
really fun too, right? Like he's it's not heavy, it's light, and like often to me he feels like a stand-up comedian.
Interesting.
I've seen him on stage and I'm like, how's he funnier than me? Yeah, he should.
He is a funny guy. Like he does
Yeah,
have like really good comebacks. Now that you say that, I've never
yep,
thought about it that way. But yeah, it's
yep,
just again, it's presence. It's I'll never forget I saw him live at a Kate Northrop's event. It was Relax Money Live, and he was doing a little talk for Kate's community. And he was talking, of course, as he does, about the 5D and the 3D, and sort of bringing it back to presence. And then he mentioned, like, how present are you right now? Like, can you hear the hum of the air conditioner over in that corner of the room? And I was like,
right.
whoa, like, that is next level presence. And
Yeah,
as a speaker, as a leader, a figure that is influential, there is an element of this five senses embodiment, but also on the energetic piece of like being able to feel, ooh, someone in the audience needs me to say this, or there's something going on here that I need to address. And I think James does that really well. And would you be able to speak to that and like how you see that translate in your work on stage, like the presence and responsiveness
absolutely.
to what is?
Well, first of all, it's your responsibility when you're on stage. Like one of my
Mm,
favorite things in the world to do is to MC and host, where
mm-hmm,
I'm introducing other speakers or introducing other comics, because what I take that as I'm the steward of the whole room.
mm,
I mean, it's called Master of Ceremonies, so it's my job to bring everyone together, to make a
mm-hmm,
cohesive room, to be a thermostat as well. Like, okay, this room is really flat. I need to bring the energy up, or this room
mm,
is chaotic and nobody's paying attention, so I need to pull focus.
mm-hmm,
And it's that is really your job when you're on stage. Your responsibility is to be aware of everything.
mm-hmm,
To be like I might not address it, but I might know that, okay, someone over there is talking, or that back
mm,
door just opened and something's going on there. And then I'm making it's funny, it's almost like you have two brains, where you have the brain that you're in the moment, saying the things that you're in the moment, and then a lot of
mm-hmm.
performers also have a second brain where you're maybe analyzing things a little bit, or thinking about what's coming next, deciding if
Ah.
someone yell, like in a stand-up thing. Sometimes someone says something in the crowd and you do address it. Other times you're like, I'm not going to go there because I know I'm going to get derailed as well. So
Mm, mhm,
it's it's having that, like, just that live presence and awareness. But the biggest thing about it is it's because your focus is off you. Like, I'm not thinking, oh my God, my words, I'm so nervous. What if they don't like
yeah,
me? I'm thinking, okay, I'm here to serve. I'm here to control the room. I'm here to make sure everyone gets some value out of this. I'm
mhm,
here to tee up the other speakers or the other
mhm.
comedians. So yeah, I think it's just being aware of that's part of the job.
That's it. And I think there's a big difference between awareness and hypervigilance, because you could again take two of the same people in the same scenario, but one person's like, oh my God, someone's speaking, that's so annoying, and oh my God, that door just crashed, it's gonna ruin
Right.
the recording, blah, blah, blah. Versus another person is just like, okay, I'm aware of all these things and I'm still present in the moment. And that real shift is what you've just said. It's not about me, it's about the collective experience. And so the
Right.
hypervigilance generally tends to show up when it's just about you. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. It's like, if you
Mm,
this is tough love for the audience, for your listeners, but
mm,
often, like, if you're nervous before something, you're being selfish because you're on you. You're thinking of,
mm,
oh, how are they going to see me? Am I going to get this right? Am I going to get it wrong? Am I going to forget my words? Are they going to think I'm stupid? All this kind of stuff.
mm-hmm.
Versus, what are you there for? You're there to serve that audience. You're there to lift them up, to convey a message, to enroll them in your mission and your vision. So the second you get off yourself, it's just way easier.
Yes.
And,
And
and
like I instantly hear Papa James in my ear going, selling is a service.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And to address your point too, like, how, like, does it derail you? You also got to think, like, what is useful too.
Yes. Yeah.
You
Or
know, it's not
relevant.
you.
Like there's like an
Yeah,
element of discernment almost that you're referring to
of
here.
course. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I
Yeah.
think like let me know if I'm wrong here, but like that also comes from presence because there's almost like a higher intelligence, energetic alignment that occurs when you know, oh, this is useful, this is the thing to address, or this is the thing to let go of.
Yeah, I think that is trusting yourself. Part of that
Yeah.
is getting your 10,000 hours in. Like for me, I've been on
Mm.
so many stages in the weirdest situations. I've had things go haywire. Like
Okay.
there's not really a venue or a scenario that you could put me in and I'd be like, "Oh, this is weird." Like especially as a
Uh-huh.
stand up, like we do stand up happens everywhere and it's so bizarre sometimes.
Mhm.
And I've like been in like dirty dive bars and in beautiful conference halls or like theaters. So part of that is the reps, like, okay, I've seen it all, I've heard it all, I've done it all. So I'm going to be
Mm.
unshakable there.
If the word mindfulness has ever felt vague, overwhelming, or just like a little woo woo, a little out of reach, I have created something just for you. It is Live in Presence 8 Days of Mindfulness, is my free online course that gently walks you through everything I wish I had known when I first heard the word mindfulness without like the funky jargon or getting super complicated as the yogis tend to do. Okay. Over 8 days, you will receive short, grounded lessons and simple practices that you can literally weave into your life starting today, even if you're busy, tired, or feeling totally out of sync. It is the perfect solution to regulating your nervous system when you don't know where to start. The link is in the show notes below. You can sign up for free at victorialevenberg.com/live in presence or through the link in my bio at Viktoria Levenberg. Because presence isn't something that you need to earn, it is something that you get to return to. So, speaking of returning, let's get back to the episode. I actually, just before we took our little break, had a question come through because you were sharing that you've had so many experiences on stage. What's the weirdest experience you've ever had?
Oh, there's so many. I actually answered this. I recently did a show where there was like a little backstage booth where they were interviewing comedians. And my first answer was like, it's all weird. Like the life of a comedian, like we show up to weird places at a weird venue. We say weird things and do weird things. All of it's weird. I think one of the weirdest ones, this is very memorable. I'm sure there's so many, but I think I've also maybe my brain has repressed some of those memories. But my the I distinctly remember the first time I ever got paid to do stand up, and it was mind blowing because in the beginning it's free open mics, and then eventually somebody pays you in drink tickets, or you get a hamburger and fries, or
Mhm.
they give you a little nugget of weed or something. Like it's like there's all kinds of weird ways you get paid. One time I got paid in cheesies, little cheese snacks. You know
Oh
what
my
cheesies
God.
are? Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It was all early on, like very
Uh-huh.
early on. The one was it was an outdoor show. It was at a bar, like real country hick, like out
Mhm.
kind of in the sticks, and it was also kind of a biker bar. So they were there was a it was like farmers and bikers, oddly enough, like country bikers.
That
And
sounds like it could be a show.
yeah, they were outside on picnic tables, like a
Mhm.
barbecue vibe. We were probably 30 feet away across like a gravel road that ran behind the bar
Mhm.
on top of a farmer's wagon, like a farm like hay wagon.
Mhm.
So we were standing on the wagon. There was this dirt road, then a bunch of farmers and bikers, and I got paid 20 bucks to do, I think my set might have been 15 minutes or something like that. And I remember getting off stage thinking, "Oh my God, I've hacked life. Like I just got paid $20 to have the most fun in this weird situation." I think they probably gave us some drink tickets and a couple hamburgers and stuff.
Mhm.
So I was, and this is after 10 years of a corporate career. And
Yes.
I'm like, I've made it. It's like, this is it. I'm off to the races, right?
Yes. That's
Yeah.
it. Oh my
Yeah, but it's
gosh.
fun. Yeah, the one of the weirdest things is there's a lot of bar shows, like, there's no admission fee, there's just a bar or a restaurant or a sports bar
Mhm.
has a comedy night, but often
Mhm.
it's what we call ambush comedy, where there's a lot of people in the room out for a dinner that didn't know that it was a comedy night.
Yeah,
So,
I
like, they're
gotcha.
out for a birthday party or they're out to
Mhm.
have an intimate dinner, and then all
Mm.
of a sudden, people are talking about lewd and crude things on stage sometimes, and it's just, like, looks like Ideally, when you do a show, the audience wants to be there, and
Yeah, and they know that it's happening?
yes, and a lot of the times in the early, like, amateur stand-up world, that happens where it's, like, some kinda open mic or just a
Mhm.
regular comedy night where the owner of the bar or restaurant wants to have bring people either bring people out or keep people in their seats, and sometimes it
Mm.
causes people to leave. They're like, "I'm outta here."
Wow, I can imagine. And I mean, I can also just really feel how much resilience being, an amateur comedian you would have to build, being put into the strangest types of situations. And I can also see how that has benefited you now in the entrepreneurial world as well. And so, how has resilience played a role in, the people you work with today?
I mean, it's huge for everyone. It's not it's that Rocky quote, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up again.
Hmm.
And in the stand-up world, not even just in the amateur world, even as people get to pros, you have one night where you're on top of the world and
Hmm.
like a gala event in front of 1,000 people, and then the next night's in this weird venue where nobody wants it to be happening, and you bomb, and then you're like, oh, am I even good at this anymore? And then
Hmm.
you keep going. And I always remind myself how lucky, like what a gift that is. Like people are digging ditches and being on hot roofs, roofing, or doing like masonry work, which is like grueling physical work. And I'm
Hmm.
grabbing a microphone and having fun. Like
Hmm.
that's a big gift. But yeah, I think I mean overall, like that's one of the master skills for sure, is how do you keep just going, like
Hmm.
the majority of businesses, when they fail, they just fail because the business owner decided to throw in the towel.
That's it. They just didn't have what it takes anymore, or it got quote unquote too hard when it's like,
Yeah.
well, it's choice. And we hear our mentor say this all the time as well. It'll only be hard if you actually quit, because otherwise that's just part of playing the game.
Right. And a big thing too is finding the lessons, like you either get the
Mm,
result you want or the lesson that you needed. So not even seeing things as failure, just like this is just, oh, that's
mm-hmm,
just feedback. And that's really valuable. It's
mm,
valuable in the business world. It certainly applies to performers and being on stage. It's like
mm-hmm,
you can fail. Like, yeah, yeah. One of the great things about when you're as a stand-up and as a performer, early on, like the threat and the dread of bombing or freezing is stronger than the feeling when it actually happens. And what I mean
mm,
by that
mm-hmm.
is
Yeah, yeah.
you go up 5 minutes and nobody laughs, you don't die,
Mm-hmm.
you don't get thrown in jail, they don't take your family away. So it's just
Yeah.
like
But it's the
being able to
meaning.
yeah, yeah, it's more so the thought before, and then the meaning that
Mm-hmm.
you put on it, like, just
Mm-hmm.
that, wow, that was fun. Oddly
Yes.
enough, in a perverted way, stand-ups, one of the most fun thing for comedians is watching another comedian bomb, especially if they're your friends, because then you just know, like, not in a negative way, like, "I wanna see you fail,"
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, how's he gonna get out of this?" And
Oh, gotcha. It's like it makes it
yeah.
more entertaining for you.
Yeah, and it's you definitely I mean, you do learn more from your losses. Like when
Mhm.
everything goes perfect, you don't learn a ton from that, but
Mm.
you do learn when things didn't go well, and you can start to figure out no matter what, like the parallels between performer life and business life are very similar, where it's
Yeah.
you just look, well, what can I learn? What could I have done different? You don't dwell in it, you don't ruminate on it, because
Mhm.
something's going to come up tomorrow. You're going to have your next opportunity, your next
Mhm.
sales call, your next webinar, whatever it is. It's just, so what is there anything I could have done differently there?
Mhm.
Same as if you have a relationship that doesn't work out. It's like
Mhm.
you can ruminate it out and or blame and do all that stuff, blame, shame, or you can be like, well, what could I have done differently? Is there something way I carried myself? Could I have done that differently? Could I have been a little more discerning getting into that relationship
Mm.
first time? Like what, just take it to lessons. And as long as you're growing, then to me, that's one of my major values in life is just growth. And
Mhm.
if you're growing and learning, and even if you're taking some losses, and you're not supposed to win every
Mm.
time. It's
Mm.
boring.
Mm.
You wouldn't watch that movie. Like, "Oh, I got a great script for you." Starts out, the guy's killing it. He's just crushing life, and then after that, he makes some more money, and his life gets even better, and then he makes more money, and he gets in a great relationship, and all his dreams come true. It's like, well, nobody I wanna see that movie. It's like, where is the dark night of the soul? Where's the struggle? Where's the
Mhm.
comeback? Like, that's why we love a comeback story. We love, someone overcoming obstacles, like
Mhm.
the best stories in the world are like people started from nothing, or like
Mm.
Oprah's story where very difficult childhood and then all of a sudden she makes it, or like that a
Mhm.
rags to riches story, or even better, rags to rags to riches again, like someone who like,
Mm.
got it all and then I lost it all and then I got it back.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I have some of those. Like I think a lot of people end up you have your relationship stuff where you like
Mhm.
over the world in a relationship and everything's amazing. And then when one doesn't go the way you want to, everything can
Mm.
feel terrible. I had a bankruptcy earlier in my life, around the time where I transitioned from working in the corporate world to getting into stand-up comedy. I had a
Mhm.
bankruptcy that to me I really saw as a reset opportunity, but
Mhm.
there's a certain amount of like shame and guilt, and I think for me I carried that a little longer than I needed to,
Mhm.
where like there's the dread of doing that again, like you don't want to
Yeah.
repeat. Yeah.
Yeah, repeating the past. And um I love the synchronicity between us, because often as soon as something drops in you, you already start to open that door. And I would love if you're open to cracking it a little bit further. And as you look back on your life and your multiple decades of experience and now bringing it to do what you do today, like what was one of the most impactful lessons that you had to learn, if you could give to someone else so that they don't have to learn it the hard way for themselves?
There's multiple. One big one that immediately popped to me was I when I learned sales, I just learned that it's a numbers game.
Mhm.
That served me so well. Like the fact that I had 10 years of sales experience where like you hear quotes like every no leads to a yes,
Mhm.
smile and dial, like it's I like and that was really drilled into me in our culture, and then I got to teach that to other people as well. That is, as long as you're we would focus on activity quotas. So I
Mhm.
wouldn't
Yeah.
say like, oh, you have to make this amount of sales,
Mhm.
but make this amount of phone calls, have this amount of opportunities,
Mhm.
meet with clients. And then if you
Mhm.
do that consistently, the results will just come by math two ways. One, no matter what your close rate is and your success rate, if you're doing a little more, you're gonna do okay. But also, the more you do, the better you get as
That's
well.
it.
You're getting those reps, you're reaching your 10,000 hours, and that served me so well to get to stand up. Uh, so like when I got in stand up, you have good shows, you have bad shows, you're applying to festivals and to gigs and events and to crack in and
Mhm.
you know a lot. And then certainly in the acting world, every actor doesn't book way more roles than they book. So if you're devastated by every audition that you submit that you don't book the role, that can really affect you rather than
Mhm.
being like, I'm just gonna do my best. I'm gonna give them my take in
Yeah.
this. How I would if you want me for this role, this is how I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
Take it or leave it, rather than when your whole self-worth is, did they
There
say
you go.
yes? They accept me. So it's developing a little bit of a thick skin as well.
Mm.
I
Mhm.
think that when you ask the question, if there's one thing that served me really well over my life, it's just knowing those like the rules of numbers and sales. Yes, yes, no's lead to yeses.
Mhm.
Door
Yeah.
closes, window opens, or
That's
just
it.
go to the next door. I did
Mhm.
before I did before I did financial services, I did some like door-to-door sales, like right fresh out of university,
Wow.
where it was
Yeah.
like selling like coupon books, or some of it was even like charity fundraising. And
Mhm.
I got to and they would always say that, like, every a no at a door leads to your next, or you just do the math, like, okay, I need to get 8 no's to get my 2 yeses or whatever it is.
Mhm.
then I just started doing, I would be like, well, I'm going to start jogging between houses. So I would be, and especially when the clock, like we would, they would like drop us off in a neighborhood, like 5 of us, and
Mhm.
divert us, like, "These are your streets,"
Mhm.
and then I would see the clock, "Okay, I got an hour left. How many houses am I gonna get to?" And I was, like, straight up running between houses, like, I kinda,
Wow.
run and then, like, slow down, like, I didn't wanna run up to their, like, I didn't wanna
Yeah,
be
you
seen,
didn't wanna
like,
be, like, sweaty at their door.
yeah, yeah, so, like, run in between, and then
Mhm.
and because I just figured out, "Oh, this is a numbers game." The more
Mhm.
doors I knock on, the more opportunities I knock on, the more people are gonna say yes, and
Mhm.
then it was also developing skills, like the, what am I saying at the door? Am I
Mhm.
using the, like, and also getting maybe shrugged off, and then having the fortitude to not press or push, but ask again.
Mhm. That's it, because you've nailed it really. It all comes back to these universal principles of detachment, context, and not letting the past cloud the present moment,
Right.
because otherwise you're just recreating the past. And I was chatting to someone this morning who, in a relationship context, was kind of having that same experience. And I picked up her saying multiple times in the space of 5 minutes, like, even if it doesn't work out. And I was like, did you notice that you just said that twice in the last 5 minutes? And so it's really sneaky. It's sort of easy for us to sit here on the podcast and like preach it, but it does come with a strong level of self-awareness and discernment, and just like that 360-degree spinning head of where am I? Where's my ego trying to sneak up on me that I'm
Right.
not seeing?
Yeah, it is sneaky, and it's funny too, because we're so connected to the fallacy that the past really has anything to do with the present, and the present even has, like, I mean, maybe the present has more to do with the future than the past does,
Mm,
um, but yeah, we need to release those expectations, especially in sales or
mm,
anything, any results, whether maybe it's relationships, going on dates, or sales or anything.
mhm,
If you're looking at past failures or rejections, like in sales, if you're like, "Oh, great, the last 10 people said no, probably another no," then what does that do? That affects how you show up, because
mhm,
you're not thinking it's gonna go well, and why would you show up fully when it's not gonna go well? Or your brain and your ego is gonna protect you from
mhm,
expending that energy. So, and then that ties back to presence. So, are you a
mhm.
magnetic presence when you show up expecting to lose? Or in sports, like, that's why
No.
sports teams hire sports psychologists, and
Mm,
Olympic athletes have psychologists where they got to work through that stuff. And a lot of the times,
mm,
you'd be the best athlete in the world at your sport, and you go in a funk because your brain is just, you're miswired, you're misfiring, you're connecting the wrong dots, and then you carry that into everything, and you get
mhm,
like the heebie-jeebies kind of thing, where like an Olympic skier or someone who's usually at the top of their game, or a gymnast, where now they're just in their head, and then they're
mhm,
not committing, they're pulling their punches, they're
mhm,
thinking, "Oh, what if I twist my ankle?" And
mhm.
they can't go for it, and then the hesitation is the thing that ends up killing them, like, not actually killing them, but killing their performance. Yeah,
That's
it's funny.
it. That's it. And just as much as it applies to elite level athletes, it also really applies to high performers, to entrepreneurs, anyone who wants to achieve something bigger than what they've previously achieved. It's you got to get your head in the game. And before we do the grand reveal of what your two
Ooh.
truths and one lie is, I also have a signature question that I like to ask every guest on the podcast, and it's, if there was just one thing that resonated with the listener for a long time after this episode ends, what do you wish that one thing would be?
You're made of pure love and light. Pure love, light, abundance, limitless. That's the truth of you.
Whoever needed to hear that, just let that sink in, because it is true. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
really
I
feeling that.
can't think of anything that supersedes that, you know?
No. Yeah. I mean, if you live from that place, if you serve from that place, if that's what you tap into every single day, then you are sorted for the rest of your life. And
And
what do you
the
want
add
to?
so I
Uh-huh.
was just gonna say, the add-on or extension to that is, and as a result of that, you're connected to everyone. You are everyone, everyone is you. You're the drop in the ocean, and you're the entire ocean.
That's it. That's it. And when we all finally have that realization, people are slowly waking up. It's a whole new world that we get to live into and co-create together. And that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's hard to worry about silly shit when you
Yeah,
realize
like, oh, what are they going to think of me? None of that matters. None of that matters. It all becomes redundant.
they are me and I'm
And I'm
stardust.
them. So, and I love them and I am love. And so if they are me, I am love all as well.
Yeah, yeah. Great
And what
question.
do you want to do first? Do you want to share how people can find out more about you, where they can find you and work with you? And then we'll do the grand reveal.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
cool.
the best way is to go to my website,
Hmm.
Joey Freddy Larsen.
Hmm.
That's a great way. That's my hub. You'll find everything there. Also, my podcast just recently launched, the Magnetic Presence Podcast.
Woohoo.
You you can watch and listen on YouTube. If you're an Apple or Spotify person, it's on there as well. And I think, yeah, that's the best way. If you were to go to Instagram, I'll say this for any of your listeners, I put together a 63-second assessment that will show you and help you diagnose how you're showing up in
Mm.
live situations, whether it's IRL or online, and
Hmm.
show you where you're dropping the ball and also how to fix things. The magnetic presence assessment. Go to Instagram. It's at Joey Freddy Larsen, and
Hmm.
DM me the word quiz, and you'll get the link.
Perfect. And we'll put all of that in the show
I
notes as well so that you've
I
got
would
that.
also love, I'll send you the link
Hmm.
to that talk from BBD as
Oh,
well. From
cool. Is that available in the public domain?
Yeah, that's I have it and it's on my YouTube channel. And that's
Amazing.
just to tease that a little bit.
Yeah.
The thesis of that was stepping from a background extra role in your own life to stepping up into the lead role of your own life
Mm. And
is
let me
exactly
tell you something, it is worth the watch. It is incredible. I'm actually so grateful that you put that out into the public domain because when we were talking about it earlier, I was like, oh, I wish my listeners could see this. And now they can. There you go. Check out the show notes. It'll be in the link below.
It's funny. I knew the second that I did that speech that I was like, this is an asset. I got to get this out into the world. I
Hmm.
knew I had so many people come up to me. It was such a blessing because so many people came up to me in the days following in the elevator, in the coffee line, in the hallways to tell me how that inspired them, how it moved them, how it changed
Hmm.
them. Many people said it was that talk and how I moved them that gave them the courage to invest in themselves. And
Hmm.
again, a little teaser is I shared how a couple years earlier I was semi shy. We're at a business event feeling like I didn't belong. What the heck am I doing at a business event with 6, 7, and 8 figure business owners? I'm a performer. Why am I here?
Hmm.
And I was also in debt and had some troubles financially. And so it was the story of overcoming that, and which is like we were saying, the comeback story or the um, being in a low spot and then coming out
Hmm.
of it. A lot of people saw themselves in that, and it really
Hmm.
moved people. And I knew I had whispers in my head while I was on stage and when I walked off stage that were like, "Oh, this is what you're
Mm.
supposed to be doing." Yeah,
Mm.
and that moment it was the impetus or like the what's the word like what do you call it when you start a fire? You need like kindling.
Spark?
Yeah, sparks. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
sparks and kindling to start it. Can't start a fire without a spark. And the I realized that, oh, for me to have the biggest impact in the world with people, I need to work not only with actors, I need to
Hmm.
work who are non-actors. So since December, I've been just in a massive action period where I've been shifting my work so that I can work with experts, coaches, creators, leaders, speakers, personal
Hmm.
brands who are not necessarily actors but can use all the things that I work with as far as presence and how to show up, how to change the molecules of the room. That all started from that talk where and it just I've really been on fire since then to toot my own horn.
Yes, you have. And I will be the first to put my hand up that I was one of said people who got inspired. And that was, that permission slip that I needed to make the
I love
scariest
that.
investment of my entire life. So,
I love that. And
yeah.
people listening, you don't need my permission, but if something I say helps you to realize
Mm,
that, then great. I love that. And by
yeah.
the way, when I toot my own horn, I have one of those old school horns, one of those. "Ahooga."
Oh my God.
It's
That
not.
is not the kind of horn that I was visualizing.
Oh,
So thank you for clarifying.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Mine's probably more like yoga symbols or something. Ding, 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 ding. So can you give us the grand reveal?
Man reveal the two truths and a lie. It's all the truth. I would never lie to you, Victoria, and I would never lie to your listeners. I was bit by a boa constrictor at Reptilia Reptile Zoo. I was doing summer shows for children, like camps and birthday parties, where
Mm-hmm.
I was showing animals, reptiles, lizards,
Mm-hmm.
snakes, and not in front of kids, but backstage. A boa kind of jumped out and bit me on my little pinky right here. So I'm alive.
Ooh.
I survived. It bit me and then just instantly released. But it was a big snake, and it scared the crap out of me. I screamed alone in a room and shoved it back in its thing and didn't want to deal with that one. Then in LA, I got stung by a stingray. My very first time ever surfing. I never got up on a wave. At one point, I fell off my surfboard and I must have stepped on a stingray. The most excruciating pain I've ever felt in my life. If I
Ow.
were to describe it to you, it was like I stepped in a bucket of shards of glass that were also electrified. That's what it
Oh, that sounds
felt.
really
I
painful.
had no idea what it was, and then finally, a Baywatch style lifeguard was like, "The way you're describing that sounds like a stingray." Yeah. Luckily, it was on the bottom of my foot, so it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
anywhere that was fatal, obviously. And I've eaten at the northernmost Denny's in the world. I don't know if you guys have. Do you have Denny's in New
Yeah, we
Zealand?
do.
Yeah. And that was in Fairbanks, Alaska. For 3
Ooh.
years, I was one of the branches of the financial services company I was running was in Anchorage, Alaska. So for 3 years between like age 23 and 26, there's a whole other podcast episode, a whole other life.
Oh my
I
God,
lived,
yeah.
I lived in Anchorage, Alaska, and then I basically everywhere that you could drive in Alaska, we would do these little road trips for 2, 3 weeks at a time. And at one
Mm-hmm.
point, we ate at Denny's, and I had a T-shirt that said, "I've eaten at the northernmost Denny's in the world."
Wow. My goodness. I can only imagine the stories you've got from that chapter in your life, which, yeah, definitely look
It's
forward to
part
hearing
2.
some of those. And thank you for being
Oh,
so truthful with me. I appreciate
that's
it.
it. Yeah, 3 truths, no
Three
lie.
truths. The only lie was that you told me a lie.
Right.
So there we go. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Joey. This has
Oh,
been
thank
super,
you.
super fun.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, I'm just incredibly grateful and really excited to see the incredible ripple effect that your work is going to have both on your students, on the leaders, everyone who steps into your sphere, and also the people who get inspired through you as still a comedian, an actor, and a speaker yourself. So, yeah, thank you for being you and keep spreading that stardust all over the world.
Will do, and right back at you too. You're doing incredible work, and I know you're inspiring people on this podcast. So yeah, right back at you.
Thank
Takes
you,
one
thank you,
takes
thank you.
one to know one.
That's it. We are on the same wavelength, aren't we? Just
Yeah.
doing the dance. A couple of reflections from my side before we officially wrap things up. There were some themes that really came up here where you wouldn't necessarily think about it when you think of, being on stage or in sales or in a leadership role, that yet make all the difference. And there are so many parallels that I think any of you listening, whether you are in corporate or an entrepreneur or you're at home with the family, there are these elements that truly do apply to you. And the three key things that landed most significantly for me from what Joey said were being the thermostat in the room, how nervous equals selfish, and the more doors you walk through, the more yeses you have the opportunity to receive. What do I mean by that? Well, when Joey spoke about his time emceeing, I've known this before, but it didn't click for me just as it did today around the master of ceremony, right? It's sort of the mastery of bringing people together, of being the thermostat in the room, of holding presence and energy to influence those around you. And believe it or not, any of you listening right here, right now can command that at your own will in the moment. Of course, it takes practice, mastery, and a level of decisiveness and alignment within yourself. And yet, you're doing it whether you realize it or not. So like, you can either be the unconscious thermostat, or you can be a conscious thermostat and make a positive difference in the world. What do I mean by that? I mean, surely you've had that experience where someone walks through the door and they like have this dark cloud hanging over their head and they're really grumpy, and then that just kind of decides the trajectory of the rest of your day, or vice versa. Hopefully you also have someone in your life whom you see or listen to, and it's just like this instant ray of sunshine. That's what I'm referring to, and that's a responsibility that all of us hold. We all in our own lives are to some degree a master of ceremony. Now, whether that's at your office, whether that's at your home, whether that's in your container with your students or anything else, you are the thermostat. The question is, what kind of thermostat are you being? And that takes me to the next point that really stood out for me from Joey's shares around nervous equals selfish. And it really aligns quite strongly with something that our coach and mentor speaks about so much, because those of you who are entrepreneurs might relate, especially when you're a personal brand. It's like all the sales stuff and all your stuff comes up, and all the beliefs and all the things that we get to work through around self-worth and value, etc. And yet the reality is it doesn't mean anything about you, because you cannot control the outcome anyway. And if you are doing something, or if you have a story to tell, if you have an idea, if you have teachings, experience, value to give to the world, and you are currently not doing that because you are nervous, because you are in a state of fear, in the state of falsehood, as we've kind of were speaking about on the episode, then that is selfish, because you are coming from a place of self-preservation rather than service. And I say that because there's probably something maybe quite scary, bold, out of your comfort zone that you've been avoiding. I mean, we all have it, myself included. None of us are perfect. But with that comes choice of, are you going to avoid it and not do it? Or are you going to step through into the precipice, step through that additional door, and know that the more doors you step through, the more reps you get in, the more no's you get, the more yeses that follow. And so my invitation to you this week as your little action step is merely to percolate on, what is your next action step that you have been hesitating to take, that's been outside of your comfort zone, that's been really scary because maybe of a fear of rejection, or all the other meanings that we give it. What door is calling you to walk through it? Just do it. You've got this. You can do it. And if you want some extra support, as always, you can reach out to me. I'm sure Joey won't mind if you reach out to him on the gram, and we will cheer you on and be your supporters, because we all need those in life. And so this is what we're all about. It's about supporting each other, returning to our radiant, authentic, magnetic selves. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. It's been an absolute honor and privilege to bring Joey to you, and I can't wait to see you next week. For now, have a beautiful week ahead. If you're a high performer or entrepreneur who's got big dreams and you've developed strategies to get you closer to those dreams, but you feel like there are also parts of you self-sabotaging your success, I built something just for you. It is my signature Achievement Archetypes quiz that is absolutely free, takes less than 2 minutes, and it will give you instant feedback as to where your Achilles heel is. That is your natural self-sabotaging behavior when it comes to productivity, planning, efficiency, and organization. And it gives you your next right step and the solution you didn't know you needed. You'll find the link in the show notes just below. Make sure you find your achievement archetype and let me know what it is. As a fellow achiever, I will be the first to put my hand up that I have now mastered my Achilles heel, and I can't wait for you to do the same. The views and opinions expressed by guests on Resonance are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of me, Viktoria Levenberg, Live in Health, or anyone working within the Live in Health brand. This space welcomes a diversity of ideas, experiences, and stories, and part of Resonance is learning to take what aligns and gently leaving the rest. Also, while I am a national board-certified health and wellness coach and deeply passionate about well-being, this podcast is intended for educational and inspirational purposes only. Resonance does not substitute personalized medical, psychological, or therapeutic advice. Always seek guidance from qualified professionals for any physical, emotional, or mental health concerns.